Hi guys, in this bag I have several budget wireless microphones which I've been using over the course of, let's say, 12 to 16 months, maybe less than that. But the reason why I'm doing this video is because a lot of people have been asking me what budget mic to buy, and I thought, let me do this video. As I'm taking out the mic, just want to let you guys know that all these mics were sent to me by brands at different points in time. I've reviewed these different mics and I'll link them in the description, but also I didn't get paid to make this video. The first one I have out of this bag is the DJI Mic Mini. The next one is the Boya Magic Mic. Nice mic. Comes in this pouch. The next one is the Saramonic Air. I also have the Godox Cube C, and I have the Hollyland Lark M2S. Thank you, Hollyland, for sending me this microphone. I have two mics from Rode. These are the Rode Wireless Micro, and it comes with its receiver. We'll talk about all these things later. The last but not the least, I can't show you the brand because it's still under NDA. I think it releases first week in November, but it's so small. Rode says theirs were as small as the Apple AirPods Pro. But that's the size of the Rode, and this is the size compared to this one. It's almost like the same thing. So with that being said, let's talk about these mics. First of all, big shout out to Joe Creative, who is the guy behind the camera. I'll link his YouTube channel and his socials down in the description. And now for context, just in case you're wondering what I'm using to capture audio in this video, I'm using the Saramonic K9 with the transmitter behind me here and the receiver on the Loomis S1R Mark II. And I have the receiver wired via 3.5mm aux cable from the receiver straight into the camera. The weather out here is terrible. We're expecting a bit of sun, but as it is here in the UK, the weather just keeps changing. But anyways, I have two mics in front of me, the Rode Wireless Pro and the DJI Mic Mini. The rest of the mics have buttons on them, on their transmitters, as well as the DJI Mic Mini. But the Rode Wireless Micro has no buttons. So anything you have to do in terms of changing settings would have to be done using the Rode app. The DJI mic is the one that has the most amount of buttons. The rest just have single buttons. I'll just take out the DJI mic, that's the transmitter. And on the transmitter, you have two buttons, a power button and a link function button. That's the plane flying overhead again. The reason why I like this mic is because with the link button, you're able to pair it with your mobile phone. If you use an iPhone, you can easily pair a single transmitter with your mobile phone, and you can just hop on recording without even needing the DJI mic's receiver. They all have receivers, which is a good thing because you can easily connect your microphone to your camera if you shoot a mirrorless or DSLR camera. Just previously, Rode just introduced the Rode Wireless Micro's receiver, so you're able to record on your camera if you have one. If you don't have one, reach out to Rode. I think, if I remember correctly, I'll put it down here. If not, if you have the Rode Wireless Micro, you can get the Rode Wireless receiver for free. And still on receiver, the DJI Mic Mini and Hollyland's Lark M2S are the only ones that you can physically adjust the gain on their receivers. The rest of them you have to adjust using the mobile apps. Now the Saramonic Air receiver is one that is unique and I like. Why? Because not just for the fact that you can adapt it to maybe a Lightning port or USB-C port, but also because it has a noise cancelling function and it has a screen where you can see whatever you're doing and make your adjustments according to what you really want. So these different mics have their own standout features particular to them. And these are the ones I'll talk about, but if there's anything I've missed that I shouldn't have missed, please drop it in the comment section below. First up is the Hollyland Lark M2S and Rode Wireless Micro. These two microphones have what you call intelligent gain assist. And what that does is that it tries to level up your audio if it's too low or if you're too loud. So it brings, tries to cut away clipping or low levels to bring that up into the medium level. But my issue with the Rode Wireless Micro is that you cannot manually adjust the gain. You only have to do that on the mobile app, which I talked about earlier. But for the Lark M2S, at least on its receiver, you can adjust the gain. Now, these two mics, the Godox Cube C and the Boya Magic Mic, is what I really like because you can fit everything in their case. Unlike the rest of them, you'd have to carry the transmitter and the receivers in probably a separate case. The DJI Mic Mini, you can carry the receiver and transmitter and adapters with its wind filter and its auxiliary cable in the case, in the charging case. Well, the Saramonic Air can carry everything apart from its auxiliary cable in a separate case. But with these ones, everything, the lightning port, the USB-C cables, the lightning cables, whatever you have goes in their cases, and you can just travel with it. But the best out of this for me is the Boya Magic Mic, because not only that everything fits in the case, it's also a modular system. I'll take out the mic. It's a modular system that's very, very impressive to me. I've reviewed this mic, I like it. You can have it as a handheld mic if you're presenting, if you're doing like, you know, the party videos where you interview people and ask questions. So you can have it this way and pass it on to your interviewee and take it back to you. You can also take out the mic or the transmitter out on its charging case, and that's it. You can clip it on yourself, or you can use the magnet to just have it there. I'll put that back. And you can also have this mic as a shotgun mic on top of your camera to get scratch audio, if that's what you call it. And the last thing, you can have it on the decks as a decks mic. So that's what I like about the Boya Magic Mic. Next is the Saramonic Air, and what sets it apart is on the transmitter. I like the system. I already talked about its receiver, but the transmitter is the only one in this budget series that allows you to connect its lav mic to its transmitter. And the interesting part about this is that the lav mic uses a locking system. It's not your traditional 3.5mm input, but it uses a different kind of locking system that even though there are accidental pulls, there are no disconnections. I talked about the DJI Mic Mini and how everything fits in the charging case, and that's it. If I open up my charging case, you see the bigger wind filter with the transmitter on. You also see the smaller wind filter in the case, and there's the aux cable right there. That's why I like this system, and I think it's ecosystem. If I'm filming with my DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro, I can easily disconnect the transmitter from its receiver and pair it with the DJI Osmo 5 Pro, Action 5 Pro, sorry. Also, if I don't want to use the Osmo Action 5 Pro or use the receiver, I can easily connect that to my phone and just hit record. If you have the Pocket 3, which is a very popular action camera, you can pair the transmitter with that camera without any problem. So the DJI's ecosystem, I think, is the best amongst all this. The last standout feature I want to talk about is with the Rode Wireless Micros. Its receiver has an auto power detect function whereby if you disconnect the receiver's 3.5mm from your camera, or if you turn off your camera, it turns off just to save battery. All these different mics have almost the same way of connecting from their receivers to the camera, or if you're using a phone, USB-C adapter or a lightning adapter. But the Saramonic Air and the Godox have some extra things which I'll just quickly show you guys. Or they don't have it for the Godox Cube C, and that's USB-C to Sony Hot Shoe or MI adapter. I don't have it here, I'll link it up on the screen, which is a good advantage if you use the Godox Cube C and a Sony camera. The other one is the Saramonic Air, and the Saramonic Air has this little thing here. I'll just quickly show you guys. I'll take out its receiver, that's the receiver, and then just snap on the Sony Mi adapter or MI adapter, lock it, and that's it. Slide it into the hot shoe of my Sony camera, and I can easily just rotate it if I'm filming. You can use the same adapter on the Saramonic Ultra, which is also a 32-bit wireless microphone. So I was editing and I found out that the range and audio clarity test section alone was about 18 minutes. So I decided to do this part here in the studio. But before we talk about, or I tell you my findings, I just want to let you guys know my setup here. I have the Sennheiser MKH416, which you're hearing me here in the studio, and this is the background sound. Only brand that had its transmitter's weight as accurate as it was advertised was the Hollyland Lark M2S. Now for the range test, DJI advertises theirs for 400 meters, which is the one with the most amount of range, while the Rode Wireless Micro is advertised at just 100 meters, which is the only brand with shortest amount of range. But when I did the range test and I turned around to back the camera, I think about 30 to 50 meters away from the camera, the Rode Wireless Micro was the only one that had no drop signal. The worst was the Godox Cube C. Now the next thing I want to talk about is what the Saramonic Air and the Boya Magic Mic can do, and that is that these brands, within their apps, you can adjust the vocal settings, low-cut filters, limiters. And the Boya Magic Mic, you can even adjust the EQ settings within the app. But you can only activate and deactivate low-cut on the DJI Mic Mini. The thing I like about the Saramonic Air is that on the receiver, you can turn on and off limiter. You can also adjust the low-cut filter, and I think a few other settings. I think this is the only brand which you can do that. So I'll be putting the mics on this RB, is it A400 RB monopod from iFootage. Sound quality and clarity test, mic test 1 to 3. That's the Sennheiser MK416, and this is the Godox Cube C, mic test 1 to 3, mic test 1 to 3, and this is room tone. Now with noise cancellation activated on the Godox Cube C, mic test 1 to 3, mic test 1 to 3, and now on DJI Mic Mini, mic test 1 to 3, mic test 1 to 3. And I'll activate noise cancellation, DJI's noise cancellation, mic test 1 to 3, mic test 1 to 3. And now this is the Hollyland Lark M2S, mic test 1 to 3, mic test 1 to 3. And now with noise cancellation activated, mic test 1 to 3, mic test 1 to 3. And now we have the Rode Wireless Micro, mic test 1 to 3, mic test 1 to 3. Now the Rode is the only one amongst these different mics that doesn't have a button on its transmitter, so there's no way I can do a noise cancellation test. Now this is the Boya Magic Mic, mic test 1 to 3, mic test 1 to 3. And now activate noise cancellation. Now noise cancellation activated, mic test 1 to 3, mic test 1 to 3. This is the one that Boya says has true AI noise cancellation. What do you guys think? Mic test 1 to 3, noise cancellation activated, and noise cancellation now deactivated, mic test 1 to 3. So this is Saramonic Air mic test 1 to 3, and already I can notice that the Saramonic Air with the receiver and transmitter set both to 0, it's very, very low. So I have to boost all the volume of the transmitter. So I'm now boosting the Saramonic Air's receiver to +3. Yeah, +3. Mic test 1 to 3, mic test 1 to 3. Also, the Saramonic Air's transmitter doesn't let you deactivate or activate noise cancellation. The only thing it does is that it mutes the mic, which I'll show you as I'm talking. Mic test 1 to 3, mic test 1 to 3, mic test 1 to 3. So what I have to do is activate it from the transmitter. So this is the one level or the low level noise cancellation, mic test 1 to 3, and then this is the second level of noise cancellation, mic test 1 to 3, and this is with noise cancellation deactivated, mic test 1 to 3. And finally, just in case you're wondering how my audio settings on my camera is or how I had it connected, I had the receivers of every mic connected to the S1R Mark II using a 3.5mm aux cable from their respective receivers. I also had the Sennheiser MK416 connected to the Zoom H6 at gain of +6. On my S1R Mark II, I had the gain set to -6, and I think I had it on standard recording. Yeah, that was all my settings on the S1R Mark II. Well, this is one crazy hiding spot. I will show you guys the inside, but you've heard me talk about the different mics from the Boya Magic Mic to the Hollyland Lark M2S. I didn't say buy this one or don't buy that one. You know, you've heard me test them, and just want to end this by saying choose the mic that meets your needs. I remember audio is important, and this mic to range from a price of I think about $79 all the way to $120. And depending on the kit you buy, or if you buy extra accessories, the prices may go beyond that. So with that being said, it's your Filmmaker. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.